OpenAI charges by the minute, so make the minutes shorter. Well, okay, so I came across this blog post like a few days ago, and the idea is that if you want to try to do any audio transcription and you try to pass it through an AI API to do it for you, it's going to cost you money. And the way that you save your money is that you speed up your audio. So the sounds a little bit reasonable. I tried this method before, and my experience would be that you lose some of the accuracy. But is that actually worth it? So I'm going to do a recording for myself over here, just to read out some of the things that was in this blog post, and then we see how well the transcription is going to work. A former colleague of mine sent me this talk from Andrej Karpathy about how AI is changing software. I wasn't familiar with Andrej, but saw he worked at Tesla. That coupled with the talk being part of a Y Combinator series and 40 minutes make me think, do I really want to watch this? Another AI is changing everything, talk from the usual suspects to the usual cults. Okay, now that I have this recording, we're going to hear how it sounds like over here. A former colleague of mine sent me this talk from Andrej Karpathy about how AI is changing software. I wasn't familiar with Andrej, but saw he worked at Tesla. That coupled with the talk being part of a Y Combinator series and 40 minutes make me think, do I really want to watch this? Another AI is changing everything, talk from the usual suspects to the usual cults. Okay, now that I found the sample, I'm going to just copy this directory and try to use the Python method to optimize for the transcription. The Python method was something that was built by me. Well, not exactly me, it was built by Cursor. And the basic thing of how it works for the Python method is that it tries to find gaps in the audio. So for example, this is sort of a gap. You're passing nothing to OpenAI to transcribe, and that still costs you money. And the idea would be that I try to slice away parts that I wasn't talking to optimize my timing. So if we were to try to give the normal method, let's see how it's going to work. Right, so it turned something from 30 seconds down to 21 seconds. And you would get something like 27% of the savings. And we're going to hear how it sounds like over here. A former colleague of mine sent me this talk from Andrej Karpathy about how AI is changing software. I wasn't familiar with Andrej. So you notice that the empty spaces has already been sliced out from this method, but this isn't exactly a sped up version. So if we were to go with this person's idea on trying to speed things up, let's hear how it's going to work. Okay, so I speed this thing up and we went from 30 seconds down to 10 seconds. You saved around 60% of your cost to OpenAI. So before, a former colleague of mine sent me this talk from Andrej Karpathy about how AI is changing software. I wasn't familiar with Andrej, but saw he worked at Tesla. That coupled with a talk being part of a Y Combinator series and 40 minutes make me think, So this one is much faster. We're going to review it on our File Explorer, and then we're going to inspect the wave. Right, so you can see that from this sped up version, the wave is much more dense and shorter, and they have about the same dynamics. Dynamics meaning that they are sort of constant in the wave. And the reason why you want to normalize this dynamics is so that it's easier for the transcription algorithm to work with later. And we're going to see how well this method works. Going to cost me nothing. And there's 3 options that you can use with. There's the basic one, which is Whisper, and the GPT-4o, which is from OpenAI. We're going to try doing it with Whisper and see how well it works. Immediately, you can observe how the text is sort of close to the original text that I'm sharing with. A former colleague of mine talked about Y Combinator and AI is changing everything. For this one, it's pretty close, right? 40 minutes and 40 minutes. And well, some of the pronunciation might not be clear, which is clouds and the books. But we can see 2 of these examples are pretty close, meaning the conclusion would be that if you try to do a speeding up trick, it would work for OpenAI Whisper. And if we were to go for GPT-4o Transcribe Mini, you would see that by itself, the GPT-4o Transcribe Mini already costs less than OpenAI Whisper, which means that for most people, the default would be to use this model. And we're going to see how well the transcription works. So we're going to do this again. We have this new transcription result, and I believe it's easier if we were to find this in my transcription. This one was the second round. So this is the FMPG method, which is an unjacked battery, work at Tesla, 40 minutes, and usual suspects and usual clown. And now we have something similar as well. So in both methods, you actually see the performance are pretty equal. What this person ends up doing is pretty good. Well, the conclusion would be that if you are speaking clearly, there's two ways you can save your money, which is by cutting off silence and by speeding things up. You would turn something from 30 seconds to 10 seconds, and you would save quite a lot of money doing this trick.